There's a story out there that from Dove Kleiman. You've heard of him, Dove Kleiman? Obviously.
Yeah, I never knew how to say his name, but
I'm guessing. That's a guess.
I always see his tweets.
Yeah. So he there's a story out there that he wrote that suggests that Tom Brady perhaps would have stayed in New England had the Patriots done a better job of selecting wide receivers.
Mm-hmm.
And he said the selection of N'Keal Harry with the 32nd overall choice was the last straw. The Patriots passed over by taking N'Keal Harry, Deebo Samuel, DK Metcalf, and A.J. Brown.
Whew.
They passed over all three of them. All three were still on the board. And Brady, and obviously N'Keal Harry, they're Patriots in 2019. Let's see, back in 2019 they were 32nd in separation and second in most drops.
Oh,
and that was terrible. It was terrible for Tom and terrible for the Patriots. So Kleiman suggests that there are reports out there that Brady would have stayed had that not been the case. And I went back and looked.
and not that he had anything against N'Keal Harry. It's just
Right.
if it worked out with a better player.
It worked out. Now, people liked Harry out of college. They did, but this shows how hard talent evaluation is. The best coach ever can't figure out a certain position.
Yeah.
He can't figure out the wide receiver position.
Right.
And this isn't a team with a scrub quarterback. If you go back and look, when you have an elite quarterback and you take a wide receiver in the first round, that player reaches or exceeds their potential just about every time. This is such a rarity that a player, a wide receiver drafted in the first round, goes to a quarterback who is a Hall of Famer and fails. Now granted, he was only there with Tom for like a year, but still, that never happens. And the only real issue is if they can't catch. And N'Keal Harry can't catch. That's the problem. So when seeing this, I was like, I wonder, and let me go back and look at the other elite or great or however many quarterbacks you want to call them that were with a team that drafted a wide receiver in the first round during their tenure or that they played with. So like, for example, Troy, Michael was already here, but I counted Michael. All right. So either got there before or got there after. Troy Aikman played with one first-round wide receiver. He had a 100% hit rate with him. Joe Montana with one. Jerry Rice had 100%.
Like one for his career?
One for their career. 100% hit rate. Brett Favre, they drafted two.
And who was Montana's?
Jerry Rice.
In the first round?
Yeah, he was like the 15th pick or 17th pick or something.
Okay.
Brett Favre had two. Javon Walker and Sterling Sharp. They were both hits. Now, they weren't Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
Sterling Sharp may have been. But Javon Walker was a good player. Rodgers, they hit with Jordy. He was a first.
Okay.
And they hit with Adams, who was a second. Peyton Manning, they drafted four. Two are going to Canton, Marvin Harrison and Reggie Wayne. One is Demaryius Thomas. And then Anthony Gonzalez was the miss.
Anthony Gonzalez was a first.
It was 29th pick.
Okay.
28th pick. So that was a miss. So now we're talking, I've just named 7 and only one miss so far.
Yeah. Can you just recap for me who those quarterbacks were?
Oh yeah, I'm getting there. Okay, I'm not comparing.
All right.
Let's go a little bit further down the list.
Okay.
Rivers got one. Mike Williams.
One.
Yeah,
All
Mike
right.
Williams. And he hit. Well, Mike's hit.
Yeah.
Matt Ryan got 3. Julio, Roddy, Calvin Ridley. Those are 3 for 3.
Yep.
Romo and Dak got Dez, CD, and you throw in Amari because he was traded for a first, but he was also a first-round pick, and all 3 hit. That's 3 for 3 right there. Bill and Brady got really, really unlucky with N'Keal Harry. History shows that if you are a great or let's just say a top 10, top 8 quarterback in the league, and you draft a wide receiver in the first round, that receiver's going to hit. I could go down and go with every quarterback through the history of the league, and I just rattled up the first ones that came to mind, and I just went and looked at the first-round draft picks at wide receiver that were taken in or around their career starting, and they're all hits, with the exception of Anthony Gonzalez and N'Keal Harry.
That's interesting. And how do we apply that here?
Well, you apply that here because if you were to take and look at if you look at the BPA, so you look at the best player available at the time.
Because Dak, amongst all those quarterbacks, would be the worst one.
I agree. Yes, he is definitely worse than obviously the Rodgers, the Favres, the Bradys, the Montanas, the Mannings, and then
Aikman,
Ryan, Romo, and Rivers. Like, he's not as good as any of them as a passer.
Right.
So that, yes, absolutely take that into effect or take that into account. I don't think, and I went look. I didn't see any first round picks that the Chiefs used. Tyreek wasn't a first, so I mean they may take one this year.
Right.
But if Dak is in that, great category. I mean, Derek Carr. I mean, Amari Cooper was good with Derek Carr. They gave him a first round wide receiver. If Dak is in that category,
and Tyreek was in the fifth round.
Yeah, and you take a wide receiver in the first, you got you've got the best chance of him hitting. So if you look and say, okay, well, we need a left tackle, we need a guard, we need a center, we need a wide receiver, and we need a defensive end. Am I missing a position that we need?
You said tackle,
guard, center, wide out, edge.
Edge. I think that's it. You could throw in corner.
Throw in corner if you want to.
A lot of people said we keep on forgetting Kelvin Joseph, which we do.
We do, yeah.
But I think there's a reason for it. But, yeah, I think all those are higher priorities.
Now, look, there's six. Those are six positions of need. And, it's going to be really hard to screw this up. But if you do need a wide receiver and, there's a first-round talent there, history shows that's usually a safe bet.
My issue with drafting the receiver, you can look at it from two different ways. One, if you draft a really good receiver in the first round and you have the quarterback, then, you're ensuring that the receiver has a great career. My problem is I feel like you draft the receiver because Dak needs the most help.
Right.
That's what I'm really worried about this year, especially if Michael Gallup misses the first 2 or 3 games, as the reports are. CeeDee Lamb has to be a 1. Gallup has to be a no doubt 2. Gallup is going to have to be healthy. Dalton Schultz with more attention on him is going to have to be as good as he was last year and the year before. Dak is going to have to be healthy, figure out defenses. If you're the Cowboys and Will McClay and Stephen Jones and Jerry having the discussion, should we be having a help Dak discussion at this point right now with receivers? We have to have it at offensive line.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a catch-22, right? Do you help him? What's the point of having a good receiver if you can't protect him? And I guess the answer to that would be is that teams can't.
The Colts could draft anyone, basically, and you're like, okay, Peyton is going to be fine.
Yeah.
And you're not going to have that same level of discussion here. Obviously, Peyton Manning is maybe the greatest quarterback of all time, but is it a problem if we're having that discussion in the room of, hey, we can't go into the season without 3. We have 2 that we feel good about. Oh, we need 3 because Dak needs as much help as possible. Is that a realistic discussion? Is that problematic to be having that?
It's
because that's my worry.
Yeah. Well, look, I mean, I think you have that question about anybody who isn't the top 4 or 5 guys.
Now you can say he got Cedric Wilson paid.
He did. He got Dalton Schultz paid. Yeah. Did he get any? Who else did he get? You got Michael Gallup paid. He did. He's going to get CeeDee Lamb paid. He hit on CeeDee Lamb. He hit on with Michael Gallup. I mean, he's gotten these guys paid. We forget that. Dak's very, very good. Yeah, but if you're not Patrick Mahomes, if you're not Josh Allen or Brady or Rodgers or soon to be Justin Herbert, yeah, you do need help. And the question is, would you rather have more time, or would you rather have? Because the other thing is, if you have a third wide receiver, a third elite wide receiver, that's one more person they're going to have to dedicate to coverage. Now they're going to make a decision. Do we want to lay everybody back and cover? Or do we want to leave guys on an island with 3 great wide receivers try to rush you? My guesses would be in today's NFL, they're going to play back.